Hello everybody, it is Coach Tay, your friendly neighborhood health and fitness coach. And today we're gonna get into 5 signs that you potentially may have insulin resistance. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't want to diagnose everybody, but studies show that over 80% of Americans are insulin resistant and they don't even know it. So I really encourage you guys to pay attention to these symptoms. If you have these symptoms, stay to the end so I can tell you different ways that you can reverse your insulin starting today. So y'all know I don't like to waste time. If you're new here, when the glasses are on, the teaching has begun. Let's get into it. What is insulin resistance? Now, to know even what insulin resistance is, you first want to know what insulin is. And insulin is a hormone that we all have in our bodies, whether you're male or female. Insulin is a very important hormone because it is involved in majority of our biological processes in our bodies. So whether that's digestion or stress regulation or keeping our body in homeostasis, insulin plays a significant role in any of those processes by basically being the car that operates those processes. If you're interested in a more in-depth explanation of insulin resistance, then I have a video on why you probably have a FUPA and it won't go away. And I go into a deeper explanation of insulin there. But basically what you need to know is insulin is the car that all of these metabolic processes use in your body. This is our insulin car, beep, beep, and it helps us by transporting all of our different processes. I'll put the people right here, and that'll be our different processes. We got digestion right here. We got homeostasis, which basically just means keeping our internal body the same temperature, even if the outside of our body is a different temperature. Like if it's cold outside, we get warmer inside. If it's hot outside, we get cooler through sweating, things like that. And we have stress, which would be cortisol regulation. All of these different functions in our bodies need insulin to function properly. So imagine if the insulin becomes resistant, meaning that the insulin doesn't work the best. Maybe it's a broke down car, maybe it's a tiny car. Insulin being resistant in our car reference would be like our car basically breaking down. So if we have a broke down car, then we're gonna need either more broke down cars to get the same thing done, or we're gonna need a better car. We're gonna need a more efficient car. So when your insulin is resistant, it's not efficient, it's not effective. And these processes can't get done effectively, which means everything in your body basically starts breaking down, and that can cause a plethora of health issues like high blood pressure. Type 2 diabetes is what we're used to hearing, but insulin resistance is actually the underlying cause to a lot of different chronic illnesses, such as PCOS, such as high cholesterol, even including illnesses like Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is now being considered type 3 diabetes. Insulin resistance is a lot more important than we've been led to believe, and tragically, we're not educated enough about it, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way. So that's why I'm here to show and tell you guys. So let's get into those 5 signs that you may be insulin resistant. Numero uno is going to be increased belly fat. I feel like y'all should have saw that coming. So increased belly fat is one of the #1 indicators that you are most likely insulin resistant. This is because specifically the fat around your belly is mainly caused by hormonal imbalance and not caused by just having excessive fat. That is because generally the fat that accumulates around the stomach is actually visceral fat more so than subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous fat just means sub, which means under, and cutaneous means skin. So it's just the fat that's under the skin, and that is not deadly. That type of fat doesn't normally cause any serious health issues, but visceral fat is the fat that is around the organs and is usually linked to chronic disease. Majority of the time when we have bigger stomachs, it's usually visceral fat that is accumulating around our organs, causing our stomach to protrude more often. That visceral fat is a huge indicator that our hormones are off. Think about, why are your hormones not processing correctly? What would be one of the main reasons that your hormones wouldn't process correctly? By what I've already taught you. Oh yeah, the insulin car isn't working. That literally is in charge of transporting majority of your biological processes. If the car is not working, then everything's about to shut down. The sleep, the stress, the digestion, the fat burning, everything is going haywire. I'm hoping you're starting to understand why inevitably you would have a chronic illness if you are suffering from insulin resistant, because it's only a matter of time that everything in your body doesn't process correctly and effectively if your insulin is resistant. Okay, so I know I probably came for everybody with this symptom. This was also me just last week. So let's get into number 2 to narrow it down a bit. Number 2 is going to be frequently hungry and craving. Throughout our normal metabolic rate, it goes high when we eat any food, protein, carbs, fats, sugars. It goes the highest with carbs, refined carbs and sugar, but it's normal for it to go up and down with anything that we eat. Now, what happens when we eat high sugar, high processed, high carb foods is our blood sugar ends up spiking really high. And our insulin car is used to being down here. Chugga. Choo. I made it an insulin train, goodness. You get the point. And our insulin train or car, whatever you want to call it, is usually very efficient at getting our glucose levels back down so that they can go up and down at a normal metabolic rate. Now, what happens when it goes up all the way here, our insulin car starts to almost break down because it has so much farther to travel. So since the insulin car starts to almost break down, it calls in more insulin, more cars, so that we can really get this glucose down back to the metabolic rate. Now, what happens when insulin calls more cars to help with the load is that your blood sugar drop actually goes way below what you would expect, because what goes up must come down. So however far up it goes, the insulin ends up bringing in more insulin to then drop your glucose lower than it has ever been, because it has been higher than it's ever been. So once you go lower than you've ever been, you start feeling, how low can you go? How low can you go? You start feeling the cravings and the hunger, and you feel like your energy is literally at its lowest, okay? How low can your hunger go? How low can your cravings go? How low can your energy go? Can your energy flow? Oh no, it can't. Not good. So this is the explanation on why you're going to be frequently hungry and frequently craving, because 9 times out of 10, most people are eating high carb, high sugary foods every day. So you get to have a whole fun roller coaster ride of cravings, hunger, and low energy. Surprise! This is a telltale sign that you're insulin resistant, because if you're gonna need all of these cars of insulin to constantly bring down your glucose throughout the day, let alone the other processes that insulin is needed and used for, then inevitably you're going to become insulin resistant, because the cars are gonna start breaking down. You're gonna need more cars to be more efficient, rather than this one insulin car doing its thing, having fun, and the normal metabolic rate. You got cars coming left and right, and those cars was from somewhere else, and now they had to come over here, and now they're over here. They're breaking down too, and everything's breaking down. That's what's biologically happening if you are having that symptom. Don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. Let's get into number 3. All right, so number 3 is going to be skin changes. So if you're experiencing skin tags out of nowhere or any type of skin change, it could be potentially caused by insulin resistance for the same reasons that I've stated before. Once your biological processes are shut down, everything in your body cannot produce and repair at the effective rate for your body to thrive and be healthy. So you can experience some skin changes because your body isn't able to repair itself as quickly or efficiently as possible. Number 4 is going to be fatigue and low energy, which I basically stated before with your insulin roller coaster. So not only are you going to have those cravings, you're going to be hungry, you're also going to have low energy. Like I said, how low can you go? Your blood sugar spikes are going to show you how low you can go. And I'm sure you know the feeling of when you just ate that really good food. For me, it's that really amazing cinnamon roll that I'll never let my cinnamon roll go. And then after, you start to feel kind of sleepy, you start to feel like not so good, but it doesn't matter because you felt so great eating it. Yeah, that is a sign that you are potentially putting your body into an insulin resistant state. And like I said before, don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger here to help you on your fitness and health journey. Let's get into number 5. If you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol, 9 times out of 10, you are insulin resistant. There's actually been a lot of studies that show that high cholesterol doesn't actually have to do with intaking high amounts of cholesterol. There are civilizations of people that have high cholesterol that live well over 100. And there also are studies that show populations of people that did not have high cholesterol that have passed away from things such as high blood pressure that in one point in medicine we thought was caused by high cholesterol. What has most recently been discovered in the medical industry and science is that high blood pressure is actually attributed to insulin resistance. And it's not about necessarily the salt that you're intaking or that it's too much salt or not enough salt. It's that your body is actually not processing. That insulin car is not moving, it's not working. So it doesn't matter how much salt you have. It doesn't matter how much cholesterol you have, because the issue isn't in the cholesterol. The issue is in the insulin resistance. The issue is in your metabolism not functioning correctly. The issue is that car is breaking down. Who cares who the people are in the car? Who cares how many people are in the car if they're getting to where they're going? This one is very important because a lot of people with high cholesterol believe that they have to mitigate and control their salt intake, when in actuality, studies have shown that just addressing sodium intake does not have nearly the same effect at reversing high blood pressure or high cholesterol as addressing the root cause, which is insulin resistant. There have been studies that have shown that it's only taken 2 weeks for people to reduce their high blood pressure medication dosage, if not completely get off of their medication, in as little as 2 weeks from addressing insulin resistance and not just regulating sodium intake. So if you happen to have high cholesterol or high blood pressure and you're interested in a plan that actually works at not only reversing your insulin resistance, but helping you get off of your medication or significantly reduce your dosage, check out the ebook that I've created specifically for my clients with insulin resistance to help reverse your insulin resistance in the next 90 days with a great 6-week jump start. That would be perfect for anybody with these symptoms, but especially my viewers with high blood pressure or high cholesterol. All right, y'all, I really want to talk to y'all about why it's important for you to have early detection when it comes to insulin resistance, because it really can lead to serious chronic illnesses that I would not want any of you guys to go through. I've had to watch my parents battle chronic illnesses, and it's just truly something that I would not wish on any soul. The earlier that you can catch that you may be insulin resistant, the better it'll be for not only you, but also your family. Because studies have shown that people can be insulin resistant for over 20 years and their blood sugar levels would not show it. That is why I believe it is very important to take your health into your own hands and do the research that you need to be empowered in the ways that you deserve to be empowered. If you already know you're insulin resistant, or you have a good idea and you're ready to take the next step toward not only your health goals, but your fitness goals as well, I have a Metabolic Reset membership specifically created for clients to reverse their insulin resistance while losing fat and getting their dream body. I'll create a personalized plan for you, and I'll walk with you step by step so that we can troubleshoot any issues that you may have along the way. I would love to be a helping hand along your journey. And even if you're not ready to go all in on your health and fitness right now, here are some lifestyle changes that I would start implementing today to help move your metabolic needle closer to insulin sensitivity rather than insulin resistance. Voila. These are the 4 lifestyle changes that I will always suggest anyone consuming my content to do. So, having a balanced diet is always going to help with your hormonal health and becoming insulin sensitive. What I think a balanced diet is protein and fiber with every meal. What I find is a lot of people don't eat high protein, high fiber meals for breakfast, and that's the most important meal to get that in. So having a more protein and fibrous breakfast in itself would be a huge difference. But being able to have protein and fiber for every meal, I promise you're going to feel the difference in your metabolism in just a week, if not two. Next, I would suggest regular exercise. And I'm a firm believer in whatever exercise plan that you have should be an exercise plan that you can stick to. It's no reason for you to be going to the gym for 2 hours every time you go to the gym because you saw somebody on TikTok do it. All you need really is 30 minutes 3 times a week and the patience to let the habits stack onto themselves. I've told a client before to imagine this. Imagine you go a whole year without working out. You've probably already done that before. Now imagine you were to work out just 1 time a week for that entire year. Imagine how different your body would look after the year, even though you only worked out 1 time a week. That is the importance of regularly exercising. It does not matter that you're just working out 1 time a week. It does not matter that you're just working out 30 minutes 3 times a week. What matters is that you've done it every week for a year, and now what are the results? So the best exercise is whatever exercise you can stick to for the longest, and it's going to change. It's going to go high some weeks, it's going to go low some weeks. Just having that consistency is always going to be the priority. Adequate sleep is number 3. Of course, you've heard it here before. You're going to continue to hear it. Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep is a must if you want your body to function correctly, if you want your brain to function correctly, and if you don't want to experience not only insulin resistance, but also the higher potential to have a chronic illness because of the insulin resistance. Last but certainly not least, stress management is huge. We have to learn the best ways to regulate our stress, not only for us, but also for our kids and for the world to be a better place. I know stress management is going to be the hardest thing, and I feel like as a society, we're all learning the best things that we need for stress management. I do want to make it crystal clear that prioritizing stress management is a part of your health journey, is a part of caring for yourself and caring for others, because you can't care for others if you don't first care for yourself properly. If you feel like these tips are overwhelming, again, I can create all of this for you. Just check out the link in my description or visit my website and you can get a personalized plan created for you. I can walk you through step by step everything that you need to do so that we can get you from point A to point B, which is not only you reversing your insulin resistance, but also losing some fat along the way and getting closer to your dream body. That's all that I have for you guys today. And if you were interested to learn more about that stress management, I actually have a video right here that talks about cortisol and how that actually contributes to us holding on to more fat. It's been a pleasure teaching you guys per usual. And also thank you for another 1,000 subscribers. We are now at 3,000 subscribers. I absolutely enjoy bringing you guys this content from the bottom of my heart. I read all of the comments and you guys light up my soul. So thank you so much. I'm committed to bringing you guys science-backed research because your health matters to me, okay? And last but certainly not least, I believe in you. Do you?